Today is going to be the second lesson in a series of lessons on land and water forms. If you haven't yet watched the lesson on lake and island, please go back and watch that first, because I'll be talking about that a little bit in this lesson and you'll need to know what I said. So I'm going to start by turning the computer down so you can see my model of our new land and water forms, and then I'll turn it back up and show you my paper ones that I'm going to make. All right, here we go. First I need my clay, and I'm going to flatten my clay out, put it in here. Let's put it in this one since that's where it wants to go. All right. So we're going to pretend again like we did last time that we have a beautiful landscape here and we're just little ants crawling around on it and looking at it. And so that the hills and valleys and mountains are big to us, and that this area of land is big to us. And on the other side of our land here, this is a large ocean for now until we use this side for something else. But even then it will be. So this is going to be a large ocean, and over here is our land. And we're standing on our land and we're looking out over the ocean. And then we notice that actually we can't go all the way to the edge because suddenly we have an inlet cut out of our land. And we have water from the ocean flowing in to a part of our land. Now this is called an inlet because it sticks in to the land, and it has land on three sides, but on this side it has water and more water, making a big ocean that just sticks into the land just a little bit. This is called a bay. A bay is an inlet of water surrounded mostly by land. Now you remember our island was completely surrounded by land. It had land on all the sides of it. But this one has one side of it that is attached to more water. It sticks into the land and it's surrounded mostly by land, but not completely. And that's called a bay. Now if our bay was a piece of land over here that was sticking into the ocean, and I'm actually going to see if I can make this look like it's a little more land, because our next one also has to be attached to land. It's not, there's more land over here. So now this is the edge of our ocean. And at the edge of the ocean, a little piece of land sticks into the ocean or juts out into the ocean. And that is called a cape. We need some ocean in there. So this, my land doesn't want to stay there, but it's okay. You understand it's there. So a cape is a piece of land that juts out into the water. And on one side it's attached to land, but on three sides it's surrounded by water. A bay is a part of the water that sticks out into the land. And it's surrounded on three sides by land, and one side is more water. So let me show you the definitions written down. A bay is an inlet of water surrounded mostly by land. A cape is a body of land jutting out into the water. I want you to notice that in the bay definition, it says an inlet of water. Now you remember in our study of articles that we don't say a inlet because inlet starts with a vowel. And the same was true in our lake and island work. You might have noticed we said a lake and we said an island. Because when the noun starts with a vowel, our article has to match it. Our article has to be an. Now, I can make my lake, my cape and bay out of my paper. I'm just going to take the bottom, and I'm not going to make this too big because capes and bays are not as big as the land and water forms we're going to learn about next time, which are shaped almost the same, but are bigger. So here's my bay, surrounded on 3 sides by land. Here's my cape, land surrounded on 3 sides by water. And I already made them in my book. So here I have a bay is an inlet of water surrounded mostly by land. And a cape is a piece of land jutting out into the water, or a body of land jutting out into the water. So you can make those in your notebook yourself, or if you prefer, you can make them out of mud, or if you have clay at your own house, you could paint them on paper, you can draw them and color them, you can make them however you want. The last thing I want to show you is that we do have some capes and bays in our country. So here in the state of Massachusetts, there's a little part of Massachusetts juts out to the side, and this part is called Cape Cod. In here, the water right here, that's surrounded on 3 sides by the land of Cape Cod in Massachusetts, is called the Cape Cod Bay. So we have Cape Cod Bay and Cape Cod. We have another one here by our nation's capital, the District of Columbia, is the Chesapeake Bay. And this goes in to the land by Maryland and Virginia and Delaware. It goes up here, it's covered by a car a little bit, but it's there. And then down here on the bottom of this part that juts out is called Cape Charles. So the Chesapeake Bay and Cape Charles. And there's other ones in California and all along our country's coastline. So you can study those. Please go ahead and take a picture of what work you decide to do to let me know. And next time, the land and water forms we're going to learn about are here. This is the state of Florida. And it's not a cape, but something bigger that's sort of shaped the same. And here is not a bay, but something bigger that's shaped almost the same. And if you can read that word, you know what it is. We'll get to that one next time. Until then, have fun making your own land and water.